What is going on YouTube? My name is Dom. So in this video I actually wanted to talk about something that will definitely carry over into Breakpoint if you guys are going to be playing that. Let me know if you guys are going to be playing Breakpoint or if you're going to switch over to Call of Duty or maybe a combination of the two. I've spoken to a few people from the community that are actually switching games, so please let me know what you're doing down in the comment section below. Now before I actually get started, I did want to give a quick shout out to one of the friends I play with on PS4. He operates a channel called Better Than Bad, and he posts Ghost War montages, which are really sweet, and just some really solid content. If you guys want to indulge in some more Ghost Recon content, that would be the place to go, the place I would recommend. Now, if you guys are at all familiar with the channel, if you've been watching me for a while, or watched my old videos by any chance, you probably know that there's very few classes that I would say that I'm actually good with. I would say I'm okay with a lot, I'm decent with others. But one that I will definitely say that I am good with, one that I will not humble myself with, is Sniper. So then I think you probably know where this video is going.
Perfect.
I wanted to talk about the concept of speed sniping. Now something I don't see a lot of people doing in the game is actually shooting quickly and fast and quick scoping, you know, if we're going to be using that lingo. And I think it's incredibly valuable to be able to do that, especially in Ghost Recon. And I could see how it's going to be even more valuable in Ghost Recon Breakpoint. When the map is going to be shrinking, you're going to be having to make snipes probably quicker. This is going to be super important. Now, in speed sniping, there are two main concepts that I want to discuss here. And the first one is going to be the concept of mobility, and then the second one is going to be the concept of actually having the potential to kill quickly. I need to make clear right off the bat that these things that I'm going to be discussing are not necessarily skill-based. You're not going to be having, I'm not going to say you're going to have to go practice 100 hours with this in order to get good with it. This is something you can take into effect and actually start doing immediately. Now, for the concept of mobility, there are objectively good reasons for wanting to be mobile as a sniper, for wanting to move nearly as much as possible. Of course, you do not want to move so quickly and moving ignorantly when you do not have intel, because then you're probably going to run into enemy players. You don't want to do that. But the concept behind being mobile is that you want to adjust for angles. We can all agree that when people see an enemy sniper on the team, that people will move out of the way of that sniper, out of where they think that sniper has eyes on, right? I mean, that's pretty much common sense. It's an unspoken rule. So what the idea as a sniper is, once you make your position known, once you take a shot, people are going to move out of your way. So you need to move to account for those angles. And the thing is, as a sniper, you need to move probably more than any other class. Because think about it, if you have 4 people running down the middle of the map, and you're a sniper trying to get angles on them from a great distance, one building, if they are behind a building, let's say, and I'll probably put up a visual to aid with this concept. But if they're hiding behind a building and you are watching one direction and then you want to get an angle on the other direction, you need to move very, very far in order to get an angle on that, farther than they need to move to see you. So as a sniper, you need to be moving constantly, and it is so much more effective to do this because people generally in this game right now, people don't move as snipers as often as they should. People are really focused down sight, and that's not at all what you want to be doing. You need to be mobile. You need to keep going to keep angles, to open up opportunities, and that's how you're going to be doing it. But I also need to make clear that there are good reasons for staying put as a sniper. Don't think that moving is always better than staying still. If you're covering revives, if you're covering specific angles that really put pressure on opponents, or you just have a good eye view, those are good reasons to be staying still as a sniper. But I think those reasons are few and far between majority of the time. The only time really in Wildlands that I could see where you want to stay still is probably on Scrapyard, because you can hit damn near everybody from any point on that map. And another advantage to being mobile is you are most of the time as far away as possible from the enemy team. right? If you're constantly moving and you're moving with their movement, you are constantly out of their reach unless they specifically try to ambush you. But like I said, that can only happen if you don't have enough intel or you move stupidly. That's pretty much it. So as long as you move smart, you're pretty much safe. Now I want to talk about the actual concept of killing quickly. Now that we have established that being mobile is good, that you should try to be mobile to get a variety of angles, now we need to talk about killing quickly. Because if you are sitting there aiming down sight, you are not moving, right? And you want to be moving as much as possible. But if you're just sitting there aiming down sight waiting for something to happen, then you're not moving, you're not maximizing your potential. So the faster you can kill, obviously the better you're going to be doing. And now there's three main parts to killing quickly that I would like to discuss. The first one is going to be the setup. Now there is a reason that I run around with 100 sensitivity all of the time, even on my sniper. It's because a majority of my shots are not made when I'm scoped. A majority of my shots are made during my setup phase. Now the main idea here is that when I'm running, I'm going to be looking to my side a majority of the time. Well, so the video playing in the background is going to be a great example of how I actually use the setup and how I usually am looking at my side when I'm running. I'm looking at the enemy, I'm not looking where I'm going. The reason for this is I want to put my target right smack dab in the middle of the screen, because that's where it's going to be when I scope in. So then if I need to take my shot, all I have to do is scope in. I'm going to be very near to my target, and then I can just shoot them hopefully quickly. I'll go over the actual two types of quick shots here in a moment, but that's the big part. I run it on 100 sensitivity so I can move my screen wherever I need to. Now the second aspect of speed sniping is actually something that's directly out of your control, and that's aim assist. Aim assist is so powerful in this game. I don't find any good reason to think that there won't be some sort of aim assistant breakpoint. If they take it out completely, then this point will be null, but I highly doubt it. When you have your target and you're doing a proper setup, when you aim, you're almost going to lock onto them. You are going to lock onto that person, and it's especially effective for drones. There are so many times when I shoot down drones as a sniper, I never fully ADS unless the drone's like 300 meters out. I never fully ADS because there's absolutely no point. I could fire immediately after I aim, and I'll 9 times out of 10 hit that drone. If you guys ever at all watch my league the league gameplay that I would have when I was playing on PS4, I played sniper almost all the time. I shoot down drones left and right like that. The third main tenet of speed sniping is the actual shot itself. How do you physically kill somebody quickly? And there are two things with this that I would like to talk about. Now the first one is going to be the concept of quick scoping. Quick scoping is heavily reliant on the aim assist system. You are going to, and it directly relates to what I was just talking about. When you aim and you fire almost immediately because the aim assist kicks in as soon as you start aiming. So when you first start aiming, that's when your shot is actually going to be most accurate if the aim assist kicks in. If the aim assist doesn't kick in, maybe you're not locked on properly or whatnot, then it's not going to work. But you can feel the tug of your scope when you aim. There's a few times where I'll just tap L. I will tap the left trigger repeatedly just to see if it's going to drag my scope to any given player. And if it starts to do that, then all I have to do is aim and fire, and my shot's going to be on target. Now the second type of shot does not rely on aim assist, and that's going to be what I call the drag scope, and this is really effective when you have 100 sensitivity like I do. Now what the main idea here is not about using aim assist. The main idea here is about using timing. So when you fully ADS, you're not going to be locked on your target. So let's say your target is in this position, you aim above them. The idea is to drag your scope across the screen so that it will eventually hover over that player. And the idea is all you have to do is time it. All you have to do is pull the trigger and just time it when it lines up over that person. And you'll get the hang of this after a few tries. I feel like the main idea going around in snipers' minds, and it's pretty intuitive, you know, it's not stupid or unreasonable by any measure, it's just what happens is you try to aim and you're constantly looking down your scope, and when someone moves, you try to get your target lined up perfectly on them. And the problem with that is that you have the wrong idea, because you don't want to just hover over them. The goal isn't to hover over them, the goal is to kill them and to get the bullet there as fast as possible. You don't want to just try to track them. And I do this all the time, and that's not what you're trying to do here. What you're trying to do is just time it, get as many shots off as possible, but make them as accurate as possible, so you can move to the next position and be ready to line up the next shots. But I have to preface this as well. Sometimes you have to slow down a second to actually make your shot accurate. These come more into play when you're playing at very long distances, when you need to account for things like bullet drop, maybe a target is running and you have to account for that. Those are things, but not only running, but they're running from a great distance, because when they're running from a distance, you're going to have to account for the speed there, rather than if they're running at you, or if they're running very close, you don't have to account for it. But basically great distance shots, you're going to want to hold your breath for a second and try to focus on shooting them where they're at, rather than quick scoping them, because it's probably not going to work. But anyway, let me know what you guys think of this down in the comment section below. Let me know also if you implement these things, if it works out for you, if it doesn't, anything at all. Please let me know, and also drop a like on the video if you guys did enjoy it. But anyway, any ideas for future videos, please leave them down there as well. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video.
Nice. Alright, another guy's by the body, I believe.